It is 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order, so if you'd stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome everyone, and welcome everyone watching from home. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Present.
Trustee Gatt?
Present.
Trustee Kazam?
Present.
Trustee Goff? Trustee Wigginton?
Present.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Present.
Okay, again, welcome, and we do have a quorum. We would be at approval of the Board of Trustees minutes from May 16th, 2023. I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes. Are there any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. We'd be at comments from the audience. If anyone tonight is here to address the board, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and try and keep your remarks under 5 minutes, please. Sir?
They're on the agenda.
They're-
You're on the agenda.
Oh, are you here for an agenda item?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. This is public comment?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. It's her fault.
Any public comment? Going once, going twice. Comments from the audience are closed. We would be at old business. Any old business to come before the board? Okay, hearing none, we'll get right into new business. The first two pieces are under administration and finance. The first is approval of the use of Tower Park on Saturday, August 5th, 2023 for St. Baldrick's Foundation event for childhood cancer. Trustee DeVore, I'd ask for a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the use of Tower Park on Saturday, August 5th, 2023 for a St. Baldrick's Foundation event.
Second.
Second. Sir, is that your event? Please, sorry about that. Please come forward. And go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
Mark and Kim Casey are here to talk to us about wanting to host this event. And for like those of you who don't know, a St. Baldrick's event, typically people that participate raise money and they get people to donate money because they agree to shave their head. So it's like a head shaving event, and it's for money for childhood cancer. So.
Wonderful. Please tell us about your organization.
Well, actually, it's my wife and I that are doing this.
Well, come up to it, please.
I do belong to the 501st Legion. We do hospital visits and stuff like that, dressed as Star Wars characters. And I've been doing it for about, 10
years.
10 years. And the question that kept coming to my mind was, well, why aren't I doing my own event? You know, it's great and it's a wonderful feeling to be able to help other people raise the funds. I decided it was about time that one of us stepped up and had our own event to raise funds. So we decided on we're all heroes, because there's a hero in everybody. You just got to bring it out. And then we picked St. Baldrick's, because while we're big supporters of St. Jude and, the hospitals, research needs to come first, because without the research, the hospitals aren't doing anything. So we went with St. Baldrick's. They do have online support and staffing to lead us in the right direction. And as I have never done this, I thought that would be a good idea. I'm not sure what all I can tell you. I did bring flyers. I only have 10 of them.
Yeah, feel free to hand those out if you'd
Okay.
like, or anyone. Mike, will you get one of those too? Mike mainly does our communications, so.
With as much as I talk, you think I'd be a good public speaker?
Well, you're doing just fine. Keep going.
I'd be really grateful if you guys let us use the Tower Park, because spaces are limited, and quite honestly, some of them, the pricing that they want in order to be in a publicly visible space, which you really need to be publicly visible, is just way too much for us to handle.
Well, I hope you can afford zero, because we're not going to charge you anything.
We're good with that.
Any
Yeah.
questions, or go ahead, trustee Weisenberg?
Not only do we not charge, it's one of the best places to put on an event, so we're definitely glad
It is.
that you guys have chosen us. A little history, the 501st was one of the organizations that helped with the Together We Play to raise money.
Oh,
There
I've
were
Star
Star Wars troops that showed up, helped us raise money. And they do a lot of children's hospital stuff for St. Jude. Really a great organization.
They were also kind enough to show up for one of our past events in costumes to go with a movie night, and it was a very successful and very well-attended and
They set up
enjoyed
here,
event.
didn't they?
And it was hot.
We have pictures of what we
It was
got in
hot.
County.
I was here for that. I
Well,
was.
again,
Matter of fact,
thank you for what you do. If there's no other questions, I'm going to call the roll. I think I know how it'll turn out, but we have to do that anyway.
okay.
Go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Trustee DeVore.
Aye.
Trustee Gett.
Aye.
Trustee Kazan.
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton.
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg.
Aye.
Yeah, so good luck, and make sure
you.
you make contact with Mike. He does a great job of getting media and press here and getting the word
Okay.
out, so.
Cool. Awesome.
And if
Thank-
anyone's interested, we're looking for shavees.
Looks like your husband could make a lot of money.
Well, we got this one.
Yes.
I
Thank you,
even on
Brandon.
after that,
Shane, you're not going to raise much.
I did volunteer.
I have faith in him. There is one thing I wanted to ask about, and since I'm already here, it would be easier for me to do it now. We're going to have the 501st here. There's no question about that. I'm not sure how many, but it'll be a few. The only problem with it, having them here is, one of the first things we ask is there a secure changing area? So is there some way that I can go to these guys and say, hey, I've got an area where you can put your stuff in and it'll be safe?
Yeah, I think at the last event, when we were here, we had the auction items and everything, we let them secure up here and change, and they were really happy with that spot. Up the stairs on the outside of this meeting area, you just walk up there in this little area they can sit to, and they put their coolers and stuff, and yeah.
Okay,
it
so
worked.
that'd be
We
good.
also use the firehouse.
Yeah.
They can use the
Yeah,
firehouse.
okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chief.
Awesome, thanks.
We'll make you feel at home, and we'll try and get a lot of people here for you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. Okay, next is approval of Resolution 2023-07, a resolution in support of and approving participation by the Village of Peoria Heights in the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission Fiscal Year 2024 Special Transportation Studies Project. Trustee DeVore, I'd ask for a motion to approve that.
I make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-07.
Second, please.
Second.
Go ahead, Trustee DeVore.
Okay, so the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission has put out like a call of projects. They're looking for projects to invest money in. They have about $150,000 that they're looking to use in the Peoria Pekin area. This all has to go towards something to do with traffic. So we would be looking to apply for a grant for them for the bike and pedestrian master plan. So it's very similar, or like starting groundwork of what we have in our comprehensive plan. In order to apply, the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission does require us to adopt this resolution stating that if they gave us the $50,000, we would use public funds to match it $10,000, keeping our project around $60,000.
Thank you. And Wayne, you're on the technical committee. You drill down maybe a little deeper. That was a good explanation.
Again, a plan, a lot of communities have bike ped master plans, and I think, again, it's a great addition to the work done on the comp plan to further really define the transportation system as far as bikes and peds, and sometimes we forget that's a very viable transportation system. So we really want to define that more, develop a capital plan with estimates, that type of thing for priorities. And then the other great thing a bike ped master plan does, and we've talked about this too, is bring the community together, have some public meetings. We've talked about maybe having an advisory commission for bike ped type issues, that type of thing. So very much in line with what the regional planning wants to have done. It's a transportation plan for sometimes forgotten transportation modes, being bikes and peds. hiking, things like that, or other active transportation that sometimes is forgotten.
Questions?
This 10,000, if it were approved, is this budgeted?
No, I don't think it is.
But we do have money set aside for this. It wasn't earmarked, that's what you're asking?
Okay. But it
Yeah.
would come out of the general fund?
Yes.
Again, if we get awarded this, there'd be some sort of agreement, come back to the board.
Anyone
But
else?
we're committing ourselves today to be willing to put $10,000 on the line.
Correct.
And this project would be focused on Galena Road, or would it be,
The whole community, and again, connecting with greater Peoria area as well, yes.
Anyone else?
And these are only matching funds, so we'd only spend the 10,000 if we were awarded the 40.
Correct.
50.
Oh, so total of 60,000. Okay.
Hearing no other discussion, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Trustee DeVore, anything else under administration or finance?
No, Mayor.
Okay, let's go on to Public Works. Trustee Goff is absent, so I'd ask for someone to handle this. It's familiar. It's approval of a payment to Katie's Cars in the amount of $3,413 for a Public Works trailer. Trustee Weisberg?
I move to approve the payment of $3,413 to Katie's Cars.
Second?
Second.
Chris, you want to take this?
Yeah, just a quick explanation. This is a standard utility flatbed trailer for the Public Works to use to haul equipment around town, up and down the hill, from spot to spot, various pieces of equipment that need to be moved around.
Budgeted.
Budgeted, that's good.
Yes, budgeted.
Superintendent Chandler, we just purchased, appropriated funds to purchase the blower.
Yeah, yep.
Would this be something that could go on
Yes.
this trailer?
Yeah.
And Katie's Cars is the business down on Route 29. right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yes,
And we've
Steve
bought
Gang.
a few trailers from them in the past.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyone else? Madam Clerk?
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gatt?
Aye.
Trustee Kazan?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Superintendent Chandler, anything else?
Sure, I can give an update on the Forest Park Drive project. I received a call yesterday from one of the project managers, and everything is going very good so far. They've already milled down both sides, and they didn't run into any major issues that they were concerned about, and I believe they paved those back in, or were today, and then continuing. Work is going very well so far.
Questions?
Yeah, I actually got a call right before I was arriving here from a citizen that lived below the hill that was concerned about the extended period of the closure. Are we still on schedule, or do we think it'll finish early?
They're on schedule.
Okay.
As far as, it looks like the weather's going to be good
Right.
for a pretty good stretch here, so
Awesome.
everything's looking pretty good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there an update on the ice pigging about when that might?
So I actually did talk to that gentleman today, and it looks like end of August, September is when they would be here doing that, as of right now. They have to figure out timing exactly, but that's around the time we're looking at.
Okay. Thank you for that report.
Sure.
Next, Shane Murphy is here to give an update on code enforcement and landlord registrations. Welcome.
All right, thanks for having me tonight. I put some flyers in front of you guys. I just wanted to kind of update you on the stats, how we're doing so far with both of the programs. It's been the first month, so I think we have about 86 notices we're giving out, and those are ordinances anywhere from tall grass to tires, TVs dumped, inoperable vehicles, unregistered vehicles, could be anything in that area. So you will see there are a few that are not complied yet, but that doesn't mean lack of compliance. That could be a timing issue. There's a 5-day notice after we give their initial before we have to go back and check up on those. So, and it looks like Public Works has done a few rotation mows for us as well. Those are mainly abandoned houses or bank-owned houses, or some of them are vacant lots also. So those aren't necessarily people just not mowing their yards. So I think the program's going pretty well. The lack of rain really helps at this point. If you drive around, you'll see most of the yards are mowed. So the town's looking pretty nice right now. And then on the landlord registration side, I think we're about 5 years in, so we're almost to the end of our second cycle. So all of our rental houses, I think we have right around 900 or so rental houses. We've been through all of them on the initial run, and I've been through almost all of them a second time, and actually compliance has been really good. The first time we went through them, there was a lot of issues, code issues that we had to get taken care of. And on my second lap around, I'm seeing great compliance, renovated houses, no issues, so everything's going great with that program as well. So,
Shane, it's been a while since we've had you
Yeah.
here. Can you just walk us through what a home inspection is going to look like?
So we have a set of ordinances that we can enforce. I am a state licensed home inspector, so anything obvious that I do see, structural, electrical, plumbing, I will call those out. Any life or safety issues, of course, they're included. But I'll go back and do a report after each inspection, and that will get sent off to the landlord. And then I work with them to get compliance on the houses. Sometimes it's just not enough fire smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors to major issues, structural, electrical, plumbing also. But yeah, everything is, the program is smooth. And actually, all of the landlords really welcome the program now. A lot of them also come on the inspections. They like to be there. They like to see what's going on with the houses. So yeah, it's going really well.
Do you do that annually?
Once every 3 years per property. So yeah.
Unless there's a complaint. If there's a complaint, then it goes to the top of the list.
Okay.
So.
How do we handle apartments? Do you go into each and every apartment?
We do. We try to do all of them for like Forest Park Apartments. We don't bill them for every single one. We'll randomly select a certain amount of apartments per building on one cycle. And then the second cycle, we'll go back and do, like, say, odds or evens. We try not to hit them for every single apartment every time. That would be pretty costly for a larger scale apartment such as Forest Park Apartments.
And also, I just want to add, the consolidation of this program and the code enforcement, as you heard Shane explain, he's going through majority of these inspections with the landlord. So when we do see other issues, code enforcement issues, he's got access to him right there. It's allowed him to be very efficient in both sides. And I understand it's a new program with the consolidation, but these numbers speak for themselves, and I think that instead of tracking down the landlords, majority of the time, they're right in front of him. Plus, he's got a great rapport with a lot of the landlords on the rental side. But also, Shane's been with me so long, he's been here 30 years, he has pretty good rapport with the community. So his delivery is great, he's a professional, and I think that this program is only going to take off as far as on the code enforcement side, because you look to see what he's done on the landlord side. We've kind of modeled this new code enforcement position after that. We kind of took a step back, revisioned both how this is going to work out throughout the year. We've rescheduled some inspections, unless they're complaint driven. And I'm really happy with the first month. These numbers are great. And I also want to add that he was on vacation during this month. He was off for a week, and they're still outstanding. So I know he hears this every morning because I meet with him and to go over these things, but the program is really very impressive. So.
Have we seen people utilize the online reporting?
Thank you, I was going to ask that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd say in the area of 10 complaints I've gotten through the online system, so that is working. And I try to get back with them within, a couple of hour period, just to touch base with them. And then sometimes it's not till the next day. Whether I'm at home or at work, I reply either way. I always have my phone with me, so
We appreciate
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
The
So
commercial
you're
properties-
answering, Go ahead, I'm sorry.
The commercial properties, how do you handle those? Like primarily, I hear a lot of complaints about the laundromat on Scioto.
Yeah,
A lot of times there's weeds growing up the building. It doesn't seem like they take very good care of the landscaping there.
on Scioto?
Yeah, I think it's on Scioto.
Yes.
Grandview Laundromat or something.
Mhm.
I have heard that they've improved or replaced some equipment, but
They-
the outside still looks pretty rough.
They installed all new equipment. We did make contact with that owner, and we do treat them the same way. Shane will reach out to them, explain to them what the violations are. So if there are issues on, as far as the weeds and the exterior, we can reach out to them. But they did install new equipment and cleaned up the inside, so.
Yeah, I've met with him twice on 2 occasions on complaint-driven visits, so I have a fairly good rapport with him as well, so, yes.
I'm just curious about one other thing.
Yes.
What type of complaints, I'm sure you hear everything, but like what predominantly are you hearing? Is it yard or?
Ordinance, yeah, a tall grass.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets into neighbor issues. I've had one where a resident was concerned for a tree that was not in the best condition, scared for her children, scared the tree was going to fall. That's a little bit different of an issue that we kind of help take care of. But yeah, just a variety of issues so far.
One of the complaints I often get is garbage. People not storing garbage
In the alleys.
correctly, having the garbage cans in front of the house, not even worrying about the garbage can and just putting the garbage on the lawn as one of the property on Ogden is one.
Yeah.
That's a fine example.
Yeah.
Do you
Is that the
think-
blue house you're talking about?
No, it would be if you're driving towards Francis on the left-hand side. I think it's the White House.
Okay.
Right after the brick house.
Okay.
I don't know why they do it, but they keep everything in the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little better now than it has been in the past, but.
That's good.
Their garbage cans are out past the house.
Uh-huh.
They have all kinds of rubbish everywhere. But do you think that the red garbage cans help the situation any?
I think, are those the ones that are distributed by
provided by
G&O? Yeah, absolutely, because they have lids. It helps to keep critters out.
Because I know some.
That's part of our ordinance also.
Yeah, I know some municipalities that require a certain garbage can, and I know those are provided at no cost.
They are on back order right now. They are.
I drive, what's her name,
Yeah.
Mary? I drive her crazy.
Yeah, they are. Both the recycling and the trash is on back order right now.
Okay, and I know that contract's up for renewal here, what, next year?
It's the end of this year.
End of this year.
Yeah, but in fact, I've already made contact with Gary to schedule a meeting, so,
Because
yeah.
thinking long-term, would it be beneficial if we say, hey, you've got to have this garbage can? I think the contract says they provide 2 at no cost.
Correct, I think they were overwhelmed with the amount of
Right.
orders.
So if we were, I'm getting some glares from some people, but if we were, if we said, we drafted an ordinance and, hey, you've got to have these garbage cans, GNO's got to step up their game, they've got to provide these toters. Do you think that would help the trash issues, primarily in the
It could.
the alleys?
It could.
The mayor and I have both picked up garbage through trash pickup events, and the alleys are one of the worst ones. And it's mostly these garbage cans that have like 50 holes in them that are knocked over. And
Yeah.
we said, you've got to have these toters, and we're going to give them to you for free.
I think it could help. I think it boils down to just human behavior. We tell the same people the same thing every week, and it doesn't matter if it's a sworn officer, if it's Shane. You have to have a lid on your garbage. You have to take it back to the house, and believe it or not, the next week they're doing the same thing. So I'm sure the totes will help a certain amount, but at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the resident if they're going to follow the rules, follow the ordinances. And unfortunately, historically, that they just don't. Some do. But I'm not sure. I mean, it is an ongoing issue that we see all the time, and we have officers addressing it. I know Shane's addressing it, and you're right. The alleys are the worst. But it's something I'll discuss that with him when I have that conversation. If that's something that if we did make a mandate, if that's something they could fulfill.
One last question, this one would be for legal. I know when we issue a code enforcement violation, let's use garbage as an example, we've got to give them 5 days or something like that. But, someone could continuously have a garbage violation, and the garbage day rolls around, within that time period, and they can just always be in violation of the ordinance.
Yeah,
Is there any?
if you have a recurring problem like that, we have had good success with the judges in Peoria County enforcing our ordinances and imposing fines.
Okay.
And if we have repeat offenders, we do that. The problem we ran into, and I was going to mention that about the process, and I've been trying to educate everybody that calls us on ordinance violations what the process is, because they think just because they see a squad car or Shane there, that all of a sudden it should be taken care of the next day. And, there's a process through the court system, and then the court system has to show that there's a history there. Now, if there's a history with that property, yeah, we can jump right directly to that level, and I think that's what Mark was talking about. But, we have to show some kind of history and go through the process. Or I've also seen the judges throw them out because of that, Mark, that we went right to a fine because we get a lot of complaints and there was no history at that address. They just threw them out, so. Yeah.
And I do see that quite often also. There's been a lot of notices that I've had to write second notice on them, and then, we cut the process down a little bit quicker if it's going to be a repeat offender like that. I don't want to chase people every time their grass needs to be mowed, so that's something that I'm trying to push forward on my end also.
The garbage is just something that infuriates me. A lot of people, I live on Francis, so our garbage day is Thursday. Well, they'll set stuff up for the garbage on Friday, and it'll sit there all week.
Yeah.
And this is like huge stuff. I'm like, it just drives me crazy.
Me as
But
well.
I think they know that even if they get that ticket, by the time that expires, the garbage is going to pick it up, so that it can just sit there all week, and it just looks trashy.
I understand the frustration. Any other questions?
Mr. Murphy, one thing, and I appreciate some of your examples you gave.
Yeah.
I think that there should be a continuous feedback loop with Shane coming in, letting us know what's going on. Specifically, the example that you cited about the tree leaning over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, I don't have the regulation code book memorized, but I don't think there is a reg that controls that. So if you see something out there that needs to be addressed by this board, where we're missing something, that we have a hole in our regulations that makes your job easier, it makes our community safer, that's something that I think all of us need to know. So if you could, filter that through chief or come, if you're willing to come back, keep us updated on your progress, I would welcome that.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here.
We expect to bring Shane back for monthly updates through the summer, not so much in the winter. Obviously, that's when we're going to kind of really go full speed ahead on the inspection side and focus on, obviously, the code enforcement in the summer. But I think the example that Shane was given on the tree is more of a civil issue.
Absolutely.
And we don't get involved in civil issues. No, we try to help out as much as we can. We try to use all the resources we can to help out our citizens, whether it be gutters, whether it be a tree getting taken down. But these are civil issues that the village doesn't get involved in. But I do agree with you, Trustee Wigington, that some of these things that we can help out with, we should bring to your attention. That's why he's going to be here monthly. So,
Great.
And just one last comment. I appreciate this report. I think as we look to attracting families to the village of Peoria Heights and trying to market ourselves better, and I think this is really a really serious issue that we've really got to keep on top of. So I definitely appreciate your work.
Yeah, and I do have help on my end from Judy. She helps me out every day, so she's great asset as well. So,
I have a couple questions, if I can.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify that you did say you're checking the portal responses every day, even when you're at home?
I check if I go a half hour or an hour without checking my email, it's unusual. So anytime I get one, I'm usually right on it.
Well, that's wonderful. I don't know that that's necessarily in your job description, but thank you for doing that.
That's just me.
I'm sure the citizens love that.
Yes, absolutely.
As far as so you're saying that we have the 900 rental properties, but like, how do you know if I make my house a rental property? Like, is there a system of checks and balances for these properties that are becoming rental properties?
Emily and Stephanie work very hard on that end.
Okay.
Basically, what we do is Emily keeps a very good eye on new registered properties, and at least once a year, I'm running databases to check the owner address versus the service address, as well as the billing address against the service address. We then reach out to them through letters. Judy reaches out to them if we don't receive a response more personally through phone calls.
Okay.
And that's how we're keeping track of it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And the rentals, that includes Airbnbs, correct?
Yes, we have, to my knowledge, around 30 so far, and I love inspecting those because no one's going to stay at them if they're not prime condition.
They're typically.
Yeah, those are, I love those days.
And I'll also add from the other side of things, we're actually seeing more and more often people who are setting up Airbnbs or short-term rentals like that. They're aware of these kind of programs, that they exist, and they will come in and ask if there's any sort of licensing or special process that they need to do in order to be in compliance.
Great.
And if I'm correct, I think I'm correct on this, if they set themselves up as an Airbnb or a rental property, they lose their homeowner's living exemption from a tax perspective. So they lose that exemption from that $6,000 off the
And that's
top.
at the county level, though. The owner occupied exemption
Right.
is the assessor. You're right.
All right, well, we'll see you next month.
All right, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Shane.
Is there any miscellaneous come for the board?
One quick thing, Mr. Mayor, and Trustee DeVore, Trustee Kazam, I was looking at our website today, and we have a link, and I think it's set up really nicely for Discover Peoria. It links right to our events that are Peoria Heights events. There were a couple of things that were on that I just saw that may just need to be addressed by Discover Peoria. For one, they're advertising an event at Junction City Pub. They're advertising, as under Peoria Heights events, they're advertising events on June 26th at the Peoria Riverfront Museum, and they're advertising an event on July 6th at the Peoria Playhouse Children's Museum. So I think when we're relying on their numbers to talk about what kind of clicks we're getting for Peoria Heights events, we want to make sure that there are actual Peoria Heights events being put on there. So I would just ask that, just for the integrity of the numbers when they do come back, so that they would just be Peoria Heights events.
Agreed.
Good catch.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just a couple of things that I have. Since the state legislature passed a budget, I got a couple of calls from our Senator Kaler and Representative Gordon Booth. Wayne, we had a little quick call with Senator Kaler. Would you explain the funding there and how you would like to use that money?
Yeah, the funding, it would be in the amount of, I believe, $125,000 from Senator Kaler. We're proposing at this point to fund something that's been on several people's list for a long time, and that's a complete rewrite of the zoning code, as well as form-based code for certainly the central business district, that type of thing. So those items have been on the list for a while, so that's what we're proposing to use that fund for.
Thank you. And then, Mike, I know Representative Gordon Booth called the other day. I had you follow up on that. Would you mind reporting to the board? Is she coming here and to make an announcement?
Yes, I believe it's June 27th. She's available most of the day if she wants to make a public presentation or press conference, or she's also willing to come to a board meeting if you'd rather. Really up to you guys, but it's $250,000.
That was more than what she had said to me originally.
What I don't know is what it's for.
For events.
Yeah, oh, it's for events, okay. Anyway, I sent a note back to them saying, what is it for? So they'll confirm that. But $250,000 is a nice chunk of change.
Yeah. And then incidentally, the governor was in town, not in Peoria Heights, he was in the area yesterday and had a press conference. And after the press conference, he invited myself and a couple other mayors to have a coffee. And he was interested, and I got to spend maybe 15 or 20 minutes with him. He got to hear about Peoria Heights, and he was curious about what's going on here. And after an overview of all the things going on here, what he was most interested in was how we have lowered the property tax levy the last couple of years. He was very, very interested in that because sometimes Illinois gets labeled a high tax state, but he said if you take some of those property taxes out of the equation, we're not a high tax state. So he wanted to know more about how we were able to do that, and he was also very interested in how we paid down a lot of the police pension debt. So focused really on finances, and I invited him to come here over the summer. I'm hoping he takes us up on the offer. So just to keep you up on that. So we'd be at payment of the bills.
Real quick, Mayor.
Yeah.
I would like to recognize Tanya and Laura, who have been putting the flowers throughout town.
Oh, yeah.
They've been doing a great job. They've really been working hard to plant all these flowers. They're not done yet. They're still working hard, but I wanted to recognize the good job they're doing.
Thank you for doing that, because when I saw Senator Kaler yesterday, that's one of the things he also complimented those two on. Like, he said he feels like he has his own personal groundskeeper going around the area. So they do it, they really do. I get so many compliments on Tower Park and the business community. So thanks for bringing that up, Chris. Sure. Okay, Madam Clerk, we're at the payment of the bills.
Payment of the bills would be a motion.
I make a motion to pay the bills.
Second?
All right, it's been moved and seconded to pay the bills. Are there any questions on any of the bills or discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gadd?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
All right, the bills are paid. We would be at the treasurer's report.
All right. As of the end of April, which was the end of our fiscal year, in the village-controlled accounts, there was $7,002,792.88. In the water-controlled accounts, there was $2,155,707.71.
Thank you. You've heard the treasurer's report. I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the treasurer's report. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gadd?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
All right, that's approved. It's not on the agenda, but there is a need for an executive session. So Trustee DeVore, I'd ask for a motion.
I believe it's 2C1 with the meetings act personnel.
I make a motion to move into executive session to C1 personnel.
C1.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
Trustee Gadd?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Wigginton?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
All right, that motion passes. We are going into executive session. We will return to this room, but only to adjourn. Okay, we are back in regular sessions. There is no further business to come before the board, so I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? We're adjourned.